Hello, welcome back to LK Tuition. My name's Lucas and today we're going to be looking at ordering fractions, decimals and percentages. So there's been a load of previous videos on converting fractions, decimals and percentages, so definitely check those out first if you're not too sure on them, but otherwise we will just get cracking with the video. Okay, so this is how you order fractions, decimals and percentages. So the first thing you want to do is convert them all into the same form. Now it's up to you what you want to do, which form you want to go to, but I would always recommend sticking them into decimals. They're the easiest things to compare in my opinion. Then you want to put them in order. Make sure you're checking the question because sometimes they'll ask you to put them in ascending order, so that's going from smallest to biggest, or descending order from biggest to smallest, and they also might say start with the smallest first or start with the largest first, so just be careful of what order you're putting them in. And finally, when you are putting in your answer, make sure you're writing them in their original form in the question. So you might have converted them to make them easier to order, but when you put your answer, make sure you're using the original forms of the question. Okay, so let's just do a couple of examples. So we want to write the following numbers in order, starting with the lowest. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be trying to put them all into decimals. So a quarter, just as it's a common fraction, decimal and percentage conversion, that is 0.25. This 0.19 is already a decimal, 0.3 is already a decimal, and 26% is the same as 0.26. And also I know that 1/5 is 0.2. Okay, now another thing that might help you is to make sure that all your decimals have the same number of digits, and if they don't, make sure they all have the same number of digits as the biggest one or the longest number by adding in zeros. So most of these numbers have 2 digits, but for the ones that don't, I'm going to stick a little 0 on them, and then they're easier to compare. Okay, so the lowest number looks to be 0.19, so let's just put a little 1 there for the lowest. Then the second lowest, is going to be 0.2. Then it looks to be 0.25, then 0.26, and then 0.3. So finally, I just want to write my answer out, but I want to put it in the original form. So my number one was 0.19, which is fine because that's how it was originally. My number 2 is 0.2, which is 1/5, so I'll write 1/5 as the original. Then it is 0.25, but that was originally a quarter. Then it was 0.26, but that was originally 26%. And finally 0.3, which is as it was. So that is our final answer. We've started with the lowest, we've ended up with the highest. Happy days. Okay, let's do one more question. So we want to write the following numbers in descending order. So descending means going down. So this is highest to lowest. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to convert them all into decimals. So 11% is 0.11. 0.2 is already a decimal. 13% is 0.13. 3 out of 20. Now 1 out of 20 is 0.05, so 3 out of 20 would be 0.15, and then 1 out of 8 is 0.125. Okay, so again, you might just want to make them match by having the same number of digits. It just makes them a bit easier to order them, and this is 0.200. Okay, so then you can imagine them as normal numbers. Here we can see that 150 is more than 125, and so on. So let's just order them then. So this time we want to start with the highest, and that looks to be this 0.200. Then the next highest would be 0.150. Then the next highest would be 0.130. Then it'd be 0.125, and then it would be 0.110. So finally, just want to write this out, but we want to put them in the original form, so it will be 0.2. Then the second one was 0.150, but that was 3 out of 20. Then we want to do 13%. Then 1/8, and then 11%. So that's in descending order, it's going down, and we've written them in their original forms. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. So remember to put fractions, decimals and percentages in order, convert them so that they're all in the same form and they're easier to compare, stick them in order, making sure whether you're going upwards or downwards based on the question, and then always write your answers how they wrote the numbers originally in the question. Okay, thanks very much. This has been LK Tuition. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for some more maths videos.